As I mentioned at the beginning, it has been an incredibly difficult week in our congregation and in our world. It has been sad and difficult. The death of our much beloved friend and congregant David Coblin. The terror attacks in Belgium, the ongoing turmoil in Israel, and numerous deaths and illnesses in our congregation and our larger community. All of these things have made these first few weeks of the Hebrew month of Adar, which is the month that we are in, an unfitting start to what our tradition says is supposed to be a month of increasing joy, of increasing rejoicing. In the Talmud, which is a code of Jewish law, also in a code of Jewish law, it says, Misha nichnas Adar marbim b'simcha, meaning whoever enters into the month of Adar increases in joy. Now, I should mention that I'm being a little particular in how I translate the word simcha. We often translate simcha as happiness, but happiness is not what our tradition promises in this happiness, in this idea. Simcha doesn't contain happiness. It's not a big enough word for happiness. Simcha is joy. Happiness is an emotion that's usually directly related to circumstances that are currently happening, not those that are projected or out onto the horizon, as with the month of Adar. Happiness is fleeting, while joy is lasting and enduring. Consider these two words for a moment, happiness and joy. We think they are interchangeable, but they're not. When circumstances are good and they're going our way, we feel happy. But on the other hand, when things break or get old or we are experiencing disappointment, when we don't get what we want or when things don't go our way, we feel sad and happiness escapes us quickly. But joy, on the other hand, is rich. Joy resonates. Joy is lasting. Joy in the Jewish context is not an emotion. Joy is an attitude of the heart, the comportment of the soul. Happiness is found on your face. You smile, you're happy. Joy is found inside you. Joy is in your kishkas, in your neshama, your soul. It's not necessarily based on something positive happening in that moment. It stays with you always. Joy is something that lasts, and happiness is something that is temporary. When happiness fades away, joy remains. It nourishes and sustains us. Happiness is a sugar rush from a cone of ice cream or a chocolate bar. Joy is sitting back at the end of a good meal and being satiated and satisfied, not only with what you ate, but with the people you experienced it with. The reason joy increases in the month of Adar is that because this is the time of miracles for our people. Adar is the month that contains Purim. Just the other night, we celebrated it here in our synagogue. I was dressed as a chicken. It's the most joyous of Jewish holidays. We celebrate the salvation of our people from the hand of the evil Haman. And after Purim follows Pesach, Passover, another holiday celebrating our freedom and our redemption, our salvation from an evil tyrant, this time Pharaoh. Passover happens in the month of Nisan. Nisan is connected to the Hebrew word nes, which means miracles. A month whose name literally means miracles. And so the rabbis, through a little bit of exegetical linguistics, make the point that joy begins here in Adar, but increases steadily through Purim to Pesach, and then culminating in Shavuot, when we celebrate the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai. Put more succinctly, our tradition makes the point that from this time forward until June, we should feel a daily increase of joy as we look forward to and are reminded of the miracles that God did for us in our greatest times of need and distress. And so why do I find this helpful? So much so that I share it with you tonight. In part because there is darkness in our world and darkness in our homes. And we are in a time of the year when light is shining brighter longer during the day. And also because when I feel low and removed from God, I've lost a friend as I do now. When I feel the burden and the deep sorrow that comes with losing loved ones, the pain that we feel for our loved ones, that you feel, the pain for our world. When it seems that the mounting difficulties and struggles and physical and emotional, economical and political struggles of our world have no end. When I think of the news that I read and I listen to online and on television that would have us believe that the world perhaps is coming unraveled, that the world itself is coming to an end, that Trump might be president, that Iran might get the bomb, that the Zika virus will sweep the globe, that ISIS is in every Western city and country. I could go on, but what's the point? It's all so darn depressing. When it seems all hope is lost, I am reminded that we have been this low before, and we have endured. What's the old joke about Jewish history? They came to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Our people, our tradition, our community, our families, we have known sorrow. We have known suffering, and so too we know that it doesn't have to stay this way. It doesn't last. We are still here. That should be proof enough to us. Haman is defeated. His name is blotted out. Pharaoh and Egypt are left behind for a promised land that is once again our homeland in this very day. And God greets us in the desert on Mount Sinai and gives us Torah, which has added profound meaning to our existence. Why were all of these things possible? Because even in our greatest despair, our faith, our tradition, our belief in a power greater than ourselves did not abandon us, and we did not abandon it. The key word for me is not the promise of simcha, be it joy or happiness, but the word that precedes it, marbim, to increase. Our tradition doesn't try to argue when the calendar page flips to Adar that all of a sudden everything's going to be great. That we just don't have to worry, we'll all be happy. It doesn't promise a quick fix, a Band-Aid on our emotions. It's not that Bobby McFerrin song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. A happiness Band-Aid won't salve our pain or destroy or despair or our sorrow. No, rather, Judaism promises us a gradual increase in joy, a growing sense of wholeness, of contentment, of hope, and of satisfaction. Marbei Torah, marbei chayim. We increase Torah, we increase light and life. Joy is something that is bigger than you and bigger than me. It's bigger than our current circumstances. It's bigger than Donald Trump. Joy brings us peace in the middle of a storm. Joy is something that God deposits into us. And when we lift up our eyes and our hearts and we believe in the possibility that things will get better, because things do get better, joy is what elevates us. Time does heal most wounds. Painful memories do fade, and they are replaced with colorful and joyful ones. And even tragic deaths are juxtaposed with birth and joyful baby namings and the simcha of a young man being called to Torah tomorrow morning. Misha nichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. We have entered into the month of Adar, perhaps slowly, perhaps with fits and starts, but joy will increase and hope will return and things will get better. That has been our history as a people throughout all that we have ever known and endured. If we, the Jewish people, a people so beaten down and assaulted by history, can still find joy and hopefulness to look forward to in the weeks and the months ahead, then certainly we can do the same as individuals. Joy endures, it is lasting, it is sustaining, You can feel it in your kishkas. The scroll of Esther proclaims it clearly. La Yehudim hayta orach, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. The Jews of old and the Jews of today had light and happiness and joy and love. May it be so for us. May it be so for us. La Yehudim hayta orach, hayta orach, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar.
Join us.
La Yehudim hayta orach, hayta orach, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. Ken tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu. Ken tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu. La Yehudim hayta orach, hayta orach, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. La Yehudim hayta orach, hayta orach, v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. Ken tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu. Ken tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu, tihyeh lanu.
May it be so for us. Amen.
Amen.
We rise, page 586, Aleinu.